Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Siti Nurmahatun Najah binti Sanusi and I am from the AC6C. My ID number is IDI 1601021. So for today's video, we will talk about social stratification and the topic and the theory that I've chosen. So before we start, let us know what is actually social stratification is. So social stratification refers to a system by which a society ranks categories of people in hierarchy. So for a clear example, we can see in the United States of America, they use social class, the higher class, the upper class, the middle class, as their social status. So in that case, it is clear that some group have greater status and power than other group. But actually, social stratification can also be defined as a trait of society, not simply a reflection of individual differences. So today, I have chosen my all-time favorite books and my personal favorite author also by Jane Austen, which is this one, the Pride and Prejudice book. So in this book, it tells us, really show that social stratification happened in that era. So let me just briefly tell you what is the synopsis of the story. So Mr. and Mrs. Bennet are intent on having their 5 daughters to marry above their middle class situation. So one day when a rich and a single man, Charles Bingley, ran an estate nearby, Mrs. Bennet immediately told her husband to introduce himself and form an acquaintance. So one day, they all invited to a ball, and all Bennets are introduced to the Bingley. But his close friend, Mrs. Darcy, is thought to be arrogant and filled with unconcealed pride and vanity. So he won't mingle around with anyone outside of his own group or speak with them. So Mr. Darcy also told Mr. Bingley that Elizabeth Bennet, one of their daughter, is tolerable but not handsome enough to tempt him. But what is actually Elizabeth done is something that turns the arrogant Mr. Darcy to be attracted to her and finally marry him after the second proposal. So based on the book, we can see that social inequality happens in their society. So social inequality is actually a situation where members of society have different amount of wealth, prestige or power. So when Mr. Bingley asked Mr. Darcy to mingle around at the ball and try to dance with one of the daughter, he refused because he think that he is more superior, because he think that he has a lot of money at that time and he also has his own status. So that's why he doesn't want to mingle around outside of his own circle. And because of that, Mr. Bingley and Mr. Darcy is actually own an ascribed status because their position and wealth is actually inherited from their family. So that is actually not what have them been owned by themselves. So that's why social stratification happens in the society when they think that they are more superior. But this is to focus on Mr. Darcy itself, and I think that when social stratification happens, people might think that they are more powerful than anyone, but they didn't realize that one day they might need help from other people that is actually lower than them. So I think that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoy and see you in the next video. Thank you.